He said, Venerable, I want to change my life. But how can I live the life like a Buddha, but I still can live with my wife and my kids? I said, if you want to become a Buddha, you cannot have a wife and a kid with you. Okay? But if you want to live the way as the Buddha lived, you can have your wife and your kids as long as you do one thing for me. When your wife says something, can you not react? Instead of, thank you honey, I love you. When your kid asks something, when your kid cry or when your kids act up, can you not respond with anger? Instead of, honey, come here, let me tell you this, let me tell you this, this is what you should do, this is what you shouldn't do, with kindness. If you can do that, you are Buddha. Simple, right? So, it all depends on what you are expecting in your life. What do you really want to do? You have to answer that question for yourself first, and then from there, we move forward with that. Just like me, 3 years, almost 3 years, that I asked myself, what can I do to support our people? When I have seen so much suffering around me, a lot of people are suffering. And if I keep on staying at the temple to serve the small community, then that's it. And when I die, then it's finished. But my goal, my vow is to support, to help many more people. And that's why I keep on thinking about that for almost 3 years. Silently thinking of it. And then after that, I opened my mouth and asked my teachers, can I go out and do this? He said, go for it. And here am I, which you are. And to stand in front of thousands of people to share, this is not me. This is something that's very new to me. Well, I was an MC and running a lot of programs for temples. But for that many of people and for me to speak in English like this is very new. I can do all that in Vietnamese, okay, but not in English, my second language. But I hope what I share, what I said is clear enough and easy to listen.
Very.
So, thank you very much. And then are you with us with the briefcase bracelet?
How old is how is Aloka?
Aloka is okay. He's with us.
Okay.
But then he's under restriction.
Okay.
So he cannot walk a lot. Sometimes I bring him out to say hi to everybody and have to take him in because when he see a lot of people, he just gonna go around and say hi to everybody.
I have a pocket full of dog treats.
He's also under control of tricks as well. He had a lot of different kind of tricks and he got diarrhea. See, so when you give somebody a lot of love, that's also a problem.
You talk about the weakness of the young people, teenagers. So what's your advice for parents whose kids are dealing or suffering with anxiety disorder or depression? Besides
Teenagers and kids nowadays, I talked about this topic already, but I'm going to share with you a short one because we still have to walk, okay? Just one thing. And one thing, I think that after I share this, you probably don't remember what is loving kindness and what is compassion, what is mindfulness, but you will remember one thing. Or you don't even remember me if I don't say this. But when I say this, I bet all of you are going to remember me. Because this is something that you live with it every day. Your lovers. Your cell phone. Your cell phone is something that is pulling you off track. teenagers, kids nowadays, they all have their own lovers. Right? A lot of things online that is so distracting, a lot of distractions around them. When they have this, they always with this, and that's why they have problem with the eyes here. A lot of kids wearing eyeglasses, isn't it? Why is that? Because of the light, the screen. I was an engineer, IT. So I deal with computer, I deal with iPhone and cell phone a lot. So I know my eyes now also have a problem. Okay. So when we are off track by using this, but we keep on using the cell phone every day without using our head, our memory and our mind, our brain, then how can we stay focused? How can we have a better life? Every time when they go to school, they just waiting for the moment to come out just to hold that rubber and then chat and talk and surf the internet. We as adult too, no different. You carry your lover everywhere, even into the toilet. And toilet is the secret place for all of us. You brought your lover into that toilet and whispering the whole time. This is what I share every time. And it happens to be all of us. And then when you in there talking with your lover, you are not mindful with doing number one and number two. That is why a lot of us get constipation. You cannot let it go out because you are busy doing this. This is how we lose our memory a lot. And then when things happen, guess what? You cannot bear those feelings. Teenagers, they cannot bear those feelings. Because teenagers, the age of growing, they will have boyfriends and girlfriends, right? And something happened. They break up with their friends. What happened? They don't have a strong mind to deal with all that. What can they do? Stress. And then depression, suicide. It's because of that mind so weak. Imagine if just a very simple math, they cannot use his head. They have to use a calculator. They have to use a cell phone to calculate it. Even us adults, we can't even remember 5 or 10 phone number. Why is that? Because of this. You don't use this anymore. Whenever you need to dial something, okay, I need to call Derek. Tap in the letter D. And then pop up Derek, Daryl, whatever that is. And then you just select and call. Like, which is back then you have to remember the number and you dial it, right?
Yeah.
That's when we still using this. Now we don't use this anymore. And our brain is shrinking. It's shrinking everything. We need to open it up. Let it grow. In order for this to grow, we have to stop using this by practicing this to be mindful with it. Otherwise, one day, we will lose all the memories and we just sit there. Have I eaten yet? Can somebody feed me? I haven't eaten anything. Wow, I just ate the whole bowl of soup. Oh, you want to go there? Do we want to go there? No, I don't think so. But if we keep doing that to ourselves, then maybe one day we'll be just like that. Just like a robot. So check on that. Okay? But altogether, mindfulness meditation can clear all that. anxiety, depression. Believe it or not, I have helped a lot. So if you practice, I'm pretty sure with you, no more stress, no more anxiety if you keep on practicing this. Even your cancer, if you believe in it, if you keep on practicing mindfulness, you can heal that cancer for yourself. I have many, many people who doctor turned away already. Say you only have 6 months left. They don't care. Okay, if I have 6 months, I will practice, do something for myself. Instead of sorrowing and scared, afraid. They practice, either they using the beat or they focus on their breathing. Now they live 10 years. Many people like that. So believe it or not, if we want to know, practice it. But I encourage you all to practice that mindfulness because it's nothing to do with Buddhism. It's for all, because this breath is with all beings. Okay? Thank you very much.
Is there a favorite practice of meditation that you have that you could share with us and do with us?
I practice this every day, even in my walk. When I walk, I still focus on my breathing. This is something that you don't need to borrow an external object. You already have it right here. So practice that.
Hey,
Sir, do you have?
Yes, sir.
I wanted to say something to you. It's not so much a question. I'm a veteran, combat veteran.
Thank you.
I served in, and one thing, of course, I served in Iraq. But the people, I had a lot of internal struggles. And with Renee Good, the skillful street the other day, it triggered me terribly. It brought about memories that I had locked away for years. And I spiraled out really bad. I hadn't been that way in years. And I saw this walk for peace. It kind of centered me right back where I need to be. And at the time, I thought we were walking for peace, just for peace in general, like war. And then I got to come here, and I saw you online, and you were talking about finding that peace inside first. You know? And then I realized I didn't even understand the peace walk. This peace walk was greater than just peace in the world. I just want to thank you for that. And just tell you I really
I walk as a veteran just like you that I have met along this road, and they also have the same problem of all those memories when fighting is coming back, and cannot live with that. It's very a lot of things that a lot of stress. So I always share this message, and for most of them, just like you, they start to come back and look within their breath. They find peace. So thank you so much that I'll be able to inspire you to practice something like this. Thank you. Okay, then our venerable monks give out the peace bracelet for you all. When you wear that, please remember, all those are just to remind you to be mindful, to practice mindfulness and be patient, and always be kind to all beings. Okay?
Many people.
Thank you so much.
Not be busy.
If I take one pictures right now, I have to take with everyone. So please, no pictures this time. Thank you.
The dusty roads of America have long been a canvas for seekers, dreamers, and those looking to find the pulse of a nation. Yet, rarely do we see a figure walking those roads not to conquer distance, but to conquer the distance between human hearts. Venerable Bhikkhu Panikkara, the spiritual leader of the Walk for Peace, presents a figure of striking humility against the vast, noisy backdrop of modern life. When he speaks, he apologizes for his English, noting that while he can run programs and serve as an MC in his native Vietnamese with ease, this vulnerability of speaking in a second language is new to him. But it is precisely this vulnerability that cracks open the listener's heart. His journey did not begin with the first step on the pavement, it began with a quiet 3-year wrestle of the soul. For years, he sat in the sanctuary of his temple, asking himself a question that haunts anyone who dares to look beyond their own comfort. What can I do to support our people? He saw suffering everywhere, a rising tide of pain that the walls of a temple could not hold back. He realized that if he remained cloistered, serving only a small community, his life would end with his work unfinished. His vow was to support many, not just the few who found their way to his door. So, he asked permission to leave, to walk, to step into the unknown. This impulse, to leave the safety of the known world to address the suffering of strangers, is the fundamental heartbeat of the Bodhisattva path. It asks us to look at our own lives, often filled with the paralysis of overthinking, and find the courage to move. We often wait for the perfect moment, the perfect skill set, or the perfect fluency before we act. The Venerable teaches us that the right time is simply the moment we decide to care enough to move. Even if we feel unprepared, even if we are walking into a culture or a language that is not our own. The walk is not about the destination, it is about the willingness to be a vessel of peace in a chaotic world. However, the Venerable is quick to ground this lofty ideal of peace into the gritty reality of our living rooms. We often romanticize the spiritual life, imagining that to achieve true peace, we must abandon our families, shave our heads, and retreat to a mountain cave. A questioner asks him, "How can I live the life like a Buddha but still live with my wife and my kids?" It is the perennial dilemma of the modern seeker, the tension between the sacred and the domestic. The Venerable's response is a masterclass in accessible wisdom. He distinguishes between becoming a Buddha, which might indeed require renunciation, and living the way the Buddha lived. To live the way the Buddha lived is fully compatible with a mortgage, a marriage, and a house full of noisy children. The condition for this spiritual integration is deceptively simple: do not react. When we look at our closest relationships, they are often the places where our mindfulness crumbles fastest. It is easy to be peaceful with a stranger. It is much harder to be peaceful with a spouse who knows exactly which buttons to push, or a child who is screaming for attention. The Venerable suggests a radical shift from reaction to response. When the wife speaks, instead of a knee-jerk defense or a sharp retort, can we pause? Can we offer a, "Thank you, honey, I love you," when the child acts up or cries? Can we suppress the rising tide of frustration and instead say, "Honey, come here, let me show you this"? This is the crucible of practice. If you can navigate the emotional minefield of a family dinner with kindness, he argues, you are doing the work of a Buddha. It shifts the definition of a good dad or a good partner from being a provider of material things to being a provider of emotional stability. This practice turns the home into a dojo, where every irritation is a bell inviting us back to the present moment, asking us to choose love over the easy, burning release of anger. Yet, there is a silent rival in our homes, a lover, that steals our attention and fractures our ability to be present for the people we love. The Venerable uses a potent, almost humorous, metaphor to describe our relationship with our smartphones. We treat them like secret lovers. We carry them everywhere, even into the most private sanctuary of the home, the toilet. He observes, with the sharp eye of an engineer turned monk, that we have brought this lover into the bathroom to whisper with us, distracting us even from the most basic biological functions. We are so busy scrolling, tapping, and consuming that we are not even mindful of our own bodies. He jokes about constipation, but the metaphor extends to a spiritual constipation. We are blocked, unable to release or process our experiences because we are perpetually distracted. This constant digital tether has a profound physiological and psychological cost. We have stopped using our heads. We no longer remember phone numbers. We rely on a contact list. We no longer calculate. We rely on an app. As we outsource our cognitive functions to this handheld device, our own mental muscles atrophy. The brain, he warns, is shrinking. We are trading our memory, our focus, and our visual health, noting the rise in eye problems among children, for the cheap dopamine of a screen. This section of his teaching serves as a mirror to our modern condition. We are losing the capacity to simply be. When we are with our families, we are half there, one eye on the screen, waiting for a notification. We are physically present but spiritually absent, ghosting our own lives. The tragedy is that we are trading the rich, messy, beautiful reality of our children and partners for a pixelated approximation of connection. To reclaim our peace, we must first reclaim our attention from this lover that gives us nothing back but eye strain and forgetfulness. The consequences of this weakened mind are most visible in our youth. The Venerable speaks with deep compassion about the teenagers of today, a generation growing up in the glare of the screen, because their minds have not been strengthened by memory, focus, and internal discipline. They are fragile. Adolescence has always been a time of emotional storms, of first loves and first heartbreaks. But for the modern teenager, these storms are hitting a structure that has no foundation. When a breakup happens, when a relationship fails, they do not have the strong mind required to bear those feelings. They spiral immediately into stress, anxiety, and depression. It is not that they are flawed, it is that they have been deprived of the tools of resilience. He compares this emotional fragility to the inability to do simple math without a calculator. If we cannot handle small numbers without a machine, how can we handle big emotions without a crutch? This lack of internal fortitude is a crisis of our time. The anxiety disorder, so prevalent today, is, in his view, a symptom of a mind that has not been trained to endure, to witness, and to let go. We have raised a generation to look outward for solutions, to the phone, to the internet, to the distraction, rather than inward for strength. The advice he offers to parents is not a medical prescription but a spiritual one. We must help them and ourselves open it up and let the brain grow again. We must put down the devices and practice the art of paying attention. Without this, we risk becoming like robots, functional but empty, waiting to be fed, waiting to be told where to go, unable to navigate the landscape of our own hearts. This message of internal strength resonates powerfully with those who have seen the darkest sides of humanity. During the walk, a combat veteran from Iraq approaches the Venerable. This interaction is the emotional centerpiece of the journey. The veteran confesses that he had been spiraling, triggered by a street name that unlocked memories he had locked away for years. The trauma of war, the ghosts of the battlefield, had followed him home, proving that you can leave a war zone, but the war does not always leave you. He admits that initially, he thought the walk for peace was a political statement, a protest against external wars. But upon hearing the Venerable speak, he realized he had misunderstood. The peace walk was not just about Iraq or Ukraine, it was about the war inside his own chest. The veteran found his center not in a slogan, but in the Venerable's teaching to find that peace inside first. This is the crux of the mindfulness perspective. World peace is impossible without inner peace. If we are full of turmoil, regret, and unhealed wounds, we project that chaos onto the world around us. The Venerable notes that this veteran is not alone. Many he meets along the road are carrying the heavy, invisible rucksacks of past trauma. They are stuck in the memories of fighting, unable to live in the present. For them, mindfulness is not a luxury or a hobby, it is a survival mechanism. By learning to return to the breath, to anchor themselves in the now, they can stop the time travel of trauma that keeps pulling them back to the battlefield. The Venerable's presence offers them permission to put down the weapon of their own vigilance and rest in the safety of the present moment. How, then, do we access this healing? The Venerable points to the most democratic tool in existence, the breath. It's nothing to do with Buddhism. He insists, it's for all because this breath is with all beings. This radical inclusivity strips mindfulness of its religious trappings and offers it as a universal medicine. Whether you are a soldier, a stressed parent, or a cancer patient, you breathe. He shares stories of people given terminal diagnoses, 6 months to live, who decided to stop living in fear and start living in the breath. By turning their attention away from the sorrow of the future and into the reality of the present breath, they not only found peace but, in some cases, extended their lives by years. While he is careful not to promise miracles, he emphasizes the power of the mind-body connection. Stress, anxiety, and fear are toxins. The breath is the detoxifier. The practice he advocates is deceptively simple. Focus on the breathing. You do not need an external object. You do not need a temple. You do not need an app. You have the equipment with you right now. This simplicity is its power. In a world that tries to sell us peace in the form of pills, vacations, and products, the Venerable reminds us that the cure for our anxiety is already rhythmically moving in and out of our lungs. It is the ultimate act of self-reliance. By mastering this simple focus, we can cure the constipation of the distracted mind, build the resilience of the fragile teenager, and soothe the trauma of the wounded soldier. As the essay draws to a close, we look back at the map of this journey. The Venerable describes how he plotted his route from Texas to Washington, D.C., a path that others criticized as the wrong direction. He had to fight with Google Maps, pay for special plotting software, and piece together a route that made sense to him, even if it didn't make sense to the algorithm. This act of choosing his own path is a powerful metaphor for our lives. We are often told we are going the wrong way, that we are taking the long road, or that our choices are inefficient. But the Venerable insists, I chose this path myself. And because he chose this specific, winding, inefficient path, he was able to meet the specific people who needed his message, the veteran, the anxious parent, the curious stranger. He tells the crowd, it's meant for us to meet. Nothing is an accident. The suffering that brought them out to the road, the curiosity that made them stop, and the long years of contemplation that brought him out of the temple, all of it converged in a single moment of connection. He ends by offering a simple gift, a peace bracelet. But he reminds them that the object itself has no power. It is merely a reminder to be mindful, a reminder to be patient, a reminder to be kind. As he stands there, refusing to take individual photos so that he can include everyone, he embodies the very message he preaches. We are one body, one community, walking this road together. The walk for peace does not end when the Venerable reaches his destination. It begins anew in the heart of every person who heard him. Every time they choose to put down the phone, take a deep breath, and respond to the world with love.